Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we have premium advice on how to maximize your savings with deductions on your healthcare costs. Then, more money-saving savvy. We'll talk tax-cutting tactics. We'll tune in to entertaining tales about Cleveland TV's past personalities. Plus, a healthy look at wellness. We'll prescribe advice to keep you at your best. And single? We'll discuss the singularly harsh rules to qualify for Medicaid.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Want to downsize the drain on your healthcare dollars? Jeff Williamson is here to prescribe an option to make the most of your health care money. Jeff is Vice President of Corporate Development for Medical Mutual of Ohio. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Lori.
Well, somebody from Medical Mutual talked about the health savings accounts a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Can you go quickly over how that actually works?
Sure, happy to. So a health savings account, or an HSA, is a tax-advantaged savings account. They work in connection with a HSA-compatible health insurance plan. So the way it works is you put money into the HSA, and those monies are used to pay for deductibles and medical expenses. There's some advantages, though, to those. 3 advantages I'd like to talk about. So first, the money that you put into an HSA goes in as tax deductible.
That's always good.
That's always good. Secondly, if you put the growth that happens in the account, the investment growth grows tax-free. And then lastly, any money that comes out of that account that you withdraw is also not subject to tax, provided, of course, you're using that for qualified health expenses.
Okay.
You know, in addition, Lori, most banks and financial institutions that offer these offer a wide array of investment options, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, that type of thing.
Doesn't have to be just your cash.
No, not at all.
But today you have another way to economize your insurance costs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to talk a little bit about premiums and deductibles, and I'll start with some definitions. So premium is the amount of money that you pay for health insurance. Okay, it's typically paid monthly, and as a lot of people have health insurance through their employer, it comes, the portion of the premium the employee pays comes out of their paycheck.
Yeah,
typically.
you never even see the money.
That's right. And deductibles, on the other hand, is the amount of money that you pay before your insurance kicks in. Okay, so the more you pay in a deductible, the less your premiums are going to be.
Okay, so that's a high deductible. Is that everybody should pick a high deductible then?
Well, you got to be careful with that. There's a couple important factors when you're thinking about an HSA high deductible plan. First is, what are your expenses going to be for the year, and your financial ability to pay for that deductible amount in any given year. And lastly, it's overall just your comfort level for paying that amount of money.
Okay, so can you give us an example of how that would work?
Sure, happy to. So let's take an example of a $500 deductible plan, which might have a higher premium than, say, one with a higher deductible. You're at home, you fall from the ladder trying to change a light bulb, and you break your arm. So you go to the hospital after the exam, and the visit, the cast, the x-rays, the whole yards, you end up with a $2,100 medical bill.
Okay.
So the plan in this instance covers 80%. It's an 80-20 plan, so the health insurance will pay 80%, and you would pay 20%. So we start with the $2,100. You first pay your deductible, $500. That takes the balance down to $1,600. Then the insurance company would pay 80% of that balance, okay, for $1,280. That leaves you to pay the remaining 20%, or $320. So the $320 plus the $500, or $820, is what you've paid out of pocket for that claim.
Okay.
Now, the good news on that is that now that your deductible has been met, any future medical expenses that you would have would be paid 80% by the insurance company.
Okay.
Other than co-pays or things like that.
Yeah. What about if you had the high deductible plan?
Okay, well, for a high deductible plan, so let's say a $2,500 deductible. So you would have $2,100 claim in this example. You would pay the full $2,100, and you have a $400 balance of your deductible left. That would be paid for, that you would use for the next health claim that you have. The good news on that is that once you've paid that $400 and now you've maxed out your deductible, likely any claim that you would have after that time would be paid at 100% by the insurance company.
Okay, so some different options to think about.
Absolutely.
Having a health insurance plan with a high deductible can save you on your monthly premium, which can help your budget. But is it right for you? Before you decide, follow Jeff's advice and consider your ability to pay the deductible, your overall health, and your estimated medical expenses. Still have questions? Use the information that's coming up next.
Learn more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com/2015options, or call 1-866-488-3266. Next, make yourself at home with tax savings. But first, there's a mystery to solve. You may find it suspicious, but the word clue did not always point to evidence in cracking a case. However, its first definition still helped roll things along. Do you have a clue as to the original meaning of clue? We'll string together the answer when we return.
Here, we're improving the health of our community. Here, a student sees a doctor without ever leaving school. Here, a stroke survivor regains the use of his right hand. Here, a foster child gets the consistent care he deserves. Here, and here, we're breaking new ground every day. So we can break ground here tomorrow. Be a part of the Metro Health transformation. It's good for everyone. Here.
At Dimitrov Furniture and Design, we're celebrating Ohio. Using solid wood, Ohio's best of crafted pieces for every room in your home. This is furniture you'll pass generation to generation with confidence and pride. Dimitrov Furniture and Design, off I-77 at Gent Road.
The word clue originally meant a ball of thread or yarn, tying the loose ends of what it means to unravel a clue. With enough clues, crime solvers can stitch together a case until it's all sewn up.
The kids have moved out, so now you're ready to sell your family house and move into your sweet vacation home. Unfortunately, down the road, taxes could make that transaction turn sour. Are there still ways to save when you sell your second home sweet home? Jim Lineweaver is here with options. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. So welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the tax implications when you sell your main residence, the family home.
Well, for a lot of people, this is one of their largest assets over time, so there's a significant amount of value in that. And the beauty of this is that when you do sell it, if you're single, you can shelter up to $250,000 in gains, and if you're married filing jointly, you can shelter up to $500,000 in gains. So there's quite a big exemption that's available to you.
Yeah, it's a nice one. So that doesn't extend, however, to your vacation home or your converted vacation home.
Well, I used to. But and like everything else, the rules always change. But it was a great opportunity before because you could actually have a rental property, and as long as you're willing to move into it, depending on where you're renting it, what would end up happening is that you could move into that for 2 years, make it your primary residence, go ahead and sell that previous rental property, and have the same exemptions of $250,000 or $500,000. So it was a pretty sweet deal.
So you only had to live there 2 extra years?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. So you said laws are always changing. What exactly changed in the law?
Well, this changed in 2008. So what they then said is that anything after 2008, you're going to have to prorate the amount of property that you have that would be excluded for taxes versus what you're now going to have to pay a capital gain on, because they don't want you to just get that exemption for the whole period, especially if you're going to turn that into a primary residence.
Yeah, because your vacation home could have gone really way up in value.
Yeah, because your depreciation, no matter what, when you have a rental property and you're collecting income, you're going to depreciate that property. That's always going to have to be recaptured at a capital gain rate. We're not getting around that. It's the appreciation after you move in and make it your primary residence that now there's an issue of what happens with that capital gain.
Okay. Well, it sounds a little complicated, so can you give us some kind of an example?
We do, and this should hopefully clarify things for your viewers. Let's say you had a rental property and you had it for 18 years, and then you decided to move into that and stay in there for at least 2 years, making it your primary residence. So what would then happen is that you'll actually look at that span of over 20 years that you own the property, and then since 2008, and let's say you bought this in 2014, you moved into as a primary residence, there's 5 years there that you had a rental after the laws changed in 2008. Okay, so what that does is that means that's 25% of the 20 years. So therefore, that 25% of the property is going to be subject to a capital gain.
Okay.
Now, anything after when you originally, or when you moved into that as your primary residence in 2014, any appreciation that you've had after that still will fall into that $250,000 or $500,000 exemption if you're single or married filing jointly. So very confusing, but there are some ways that you can step through this and take advantage of some of the old laws, depending on when you bought it, but some of the new laws are going to also have to apply as well.
All right. Wow, it does sound complicated. Need some help there. So, tax breaks don't have to be just on your first home alone. Be sure to check out tax-saving options when it comes to selling your converted vacation home. And for help, give Jim a call. His number is next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, telling a few Cleveland TV tales. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Skating is the icing on top when it comes to celebrating our freezing winter season. And now through March 8th, you can skate the day away at the rink at Wade Oval in University Circle. Lace up your own skates or rent them at the rink. Glide on over to Glide 2, www.universitycircle.org, or call 216-707-5033 for more information.
Remember when TV was just 3 channels and the names Fuldheim, Barnaby, and Ghoulardi ruled the Cleveland airwaves? Michael Shepsky remembers too, and he's gathered the greatest moments into an entertaining TV guide to our area's broadcast past called Cleveland TV Tales. And today he's here to tune us into some scenes behind our TV screens. Welcome to the show again.
It's a great honor to be here.
Well, there's a lot of talent in Cleveland TV, even starting very young. I mean, there's a lot of really good children's shows. So why did those, ring so true to the audience?
Well, it's funny because TV is still a very young medium when you think about it. I mean, it started in Cleveland in 1947, and I had kid shows right from the start. I mean, some of the people are forgotten today. I mean, names like Uncle Leslie, who later became Barnaby. That was Lynn Sheldon. King Jupiter and people like that. But then you had people like Captain Penny and Woodrow the Woodsman and so many others that really helped shape our lives.
Yep, he did. Captain Penny,
yeah.
Do you know him?
I met Captain Penny. Sadly, he died in 1974, but we know his son Matt very well and his grandchildren, and they're always in awe of what their grandfather did.
Oh, really?
They never got to meet their grandfather, but Matt Penn found him. Matthew, his son, brought him up here a couple of years ago. People were coming up asking for Matthew's autograph.
Oh, my gosh.
And to have their picture taken with him, and he told me, he said, I had no idea my grandfather was this big, and I said, your grandfather was Justin Bieber,
Of the day, yes.
Well, yeah.
And Barnaby?
Oh, you could tell 100 stories about Lynn Sheldon, and you would only be scratching the surface. His fans were legion, and you had people like Jack Riley. Don Novello, who played Father Guido Sarducci, was a fan of his because he grew up in Lorraine.
Oh, okay.
You had so many wonderful stories about Lynn Sheldon. The great thing about Barnaby was he would get on the air and he'd say, hi, kids, it's sunny out there today. What are you doing watching TV? Why don't you go out and have a good time with your friends? Meanwhile, the sponsors are there with their jaws open.
Yeah.
But, hey, he was Barnaby. He could do what he wanted. They taught us so many wonderful life lessons that we carry with us today. Think about it. Who are the most important people when you were a kid? Well, your parents, your friends, and the people on TV.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But it wasn't all fun and games. There was Dorothy Fulltime on the air, and she was described, I think, as tough as nails. Any examples of her?
She didn't play around. Let's put it this way. In fact, it's funny because when Janice, my wife, and I were researching this book, everybody said the same thing. You're going to put something in there about Dorothy Fulltime, right? Well, of course. Here's an example. Jerry Rubin, the Yippie, came to town, and he started getting mouthy with her on the air. She took him and threw him right off the set. So a few weeks later, Abby Hoffman came in, and she said, "You heard what happened to your friend?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And so he greases his hair back, puts on this skinny tie, and he sat like this while she was interviewing him, and no matter what she said, it was, "Yes, sir," or "No, sir." Even she was laughing at the end of that. She didn't put up any nonsense, though.
And we all remember Gibb Shanley. He lit the Iranian flag on the air. I mean, what caused all that, and what was the fallout?
Well, you remember the Iranian hostage crisis, and it was very tense. And, you know, I have to admit that from what we understand, the station management wasn't too happy about that. And if you look back over the rare films of that event, he lights it, throws it, and looks in the camera, and everybody else on the set just said, "We'll be right back." It was a very tense time. I don't know if I would have done that, but it took a lot of guts to do it.
Oh, yeah, I think that really must have taken a lot of guts. We also had talent on the air.
Boy,
Not
did we
only
ever.
talent on the air, but talent coming from Cleveland and
Yeah.
talent coming through Cleveland.
Absolutely.
So how about the entertainment shows of the day?
Oh, there were so many of them. You know, there was one called the Landmark Show, and it was kind of a country western show, or as they used to call it, cowboy songs back then. But one of the premier performers that they had back then was Dottie West, who became a huge star. Tragic life, but she said later in years, "I never should have left Cleveland."
Oh, dear.
And then, of course, you had Upbeat. Upbeat was the place to come in the Midwest because it was syndicated all over the country. If you played any place even near Cleveland, you had to be on Upbeat. And we had some great performers on there. Otis Redding made his last appearance before he died. Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin was here. The year before he started Led Zeppelin, he was on
Oh,
Upbeat.
my goodness. Wow. So many memories.
Yeah.
And we've just touched on the many tales there are to tell about Cleveland TV. For more behind-the-scenes and on-screen stories, be sure to read Cleveland TV Tales. My thanks to Michael Shevsky for coming on camera to join us today.
Thank you very much.
To order Cleveland TV Tales, call Gray & Company Publishers at 1-800-915-3609 or log on to www.grayco.com. Next, a checkup on medical news. It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon for Breakout Fitness. Today I'm here to show you how to work those triceps in the back of the arm, the ever important muscles that help us push the shopping cart and even the shovel this time of year. You ready to go?
Oh, no more shovel.
That's right. All right. So we're going to do a single arm overhead extension. We're going to start by cradling the dumbbell at the back side. Make sure your arm stays straight up above your head. You want your bicep to be right next to your ear. From here, simply drop it down to about a 90-degree angle and then extend straight back up. We're looking for 12 to 15. You want your elbow pointed forward as much as possible. Slow and steady and breathe. How you doing?
Good. I just don't want to drop the dumbbell.
Yeah, don't drop. You don't want to hit yourself. Make sure you keep fluid motion. Excellent. All right, everybody, 12 to 15 repetitions. Make sure you do both sides. And now it's your turn to get up and go. Looks good.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
You're a decade or two past menopause. So does that mean you're past needing some of your annual exams? Not necessarily. Dr. Jill Scheide is here to clarify what steps female seniors still need to take no matter what their age. Dr. Scheide is the radiology department at the Breast Center at Metro Health. That's a mouthful there. So, so age doesn't exempt you from your annual exams.
No, actually, the older you are, the higher your risk of developing breast cancer. So it's still really important to continue to follow 3 steps particularly.
Okay.
So you want to do monthly self-breast exams. You want to have an annual breast exam performed by your physician, and then you want to have an annual screening mammogram.
Okay, so 3 steps to go. Let's talk about them each one at a time.
Okay.
First, self-breast exams.
Right, so the self-breast exam, it's great to do it once a month, and it's really good if you can try to do it around the same time every month. So particularly for patients, it's good to remember maybe the first day of each month. And you want to feel for any lumps, bumps, anything new or different or changing. And you want to look in the mirror too, see if there's any skin dimpling or any redness too.
Okay. The second topic is the annual exam by your physician.
Correct, correct. So with your monthly self-breast exam, you're used to what your breasts normally feel like. With your physician, they can also feel for lumps or bumps, but since they check for different breast tissue anyway, they can sometimes tell if there's something that maybe you missed along the way or didn't notice along the way.
Okay. Do you have to go to a gynecologist for that, or can you go to your regular doctor, or is there any preference?
Either one is okay. Some people prefer to go to just their regular physician. Some people prefer their OBGYN. Some people are already following up with a breast health person, maybe a breast surgeon or something. Any of those are fine. So
as long as you have it done,
exactly.
is the important part of it. So, all right. So then, in addition to those two tests, there is also the mammogram.
Correct.
Which
Yeah.
those of us in the category of having to have those every year are so pleased to think about every year.
I know some people have trouble with them, but it's really important that you have them. It can pick up cancers that are not detectable by palpation, so you don't really feel a lump or bump with them. You just see them on imaging. And with mammography, we have 2D mammograms, which are the standard mammograms. At Metro Health, we also have 3D mammography, which is also known as tomosynthesis. And with tomosynthesis, it actually takes images through the breast, so it can help us find cancers that might have been hidden by overlying breast tissue.
Is the 3D version more comfortable than the 2D version?
I don't know if it's more comfortable necessarily, but if someone does find it uncomfortable, if they take an analgesic, say Aleve or Tylenol, an hour beforehand, usually people find that it does help.
Good tip. That'll help a lot of people today. And any of these exams, if there is a lump or there's something else going on, you know, what's the next step?
They would want to contact their physician if they haven't already contacted them, just to make sure that they get appropriate follow-up. And it's really important to have early detection of breast cancer, so that's why you want to make sure you follow those 3 steps.
Okay. Do you usually end up going to then, like you mentioned, a breast care specialist or a surgeon or something like that?
Right. It depends on what the person who refers someone for a mammogram feels comfortable with. If they feel comfortable just dealing with it themselves, all the results themselves, that's fine. But sometimes they feel more comfortable sending someone to a breast health specialist. So.
Who's used to dealing with that every day.
Right, right. So it's just a matter of comfort level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now, you're never too old to take care of your health, no matter what your age. Follow Dr. Scheida's tips to protect the health of your breasts. And for more information, give Metro Health a call. The number's coming up next.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit www.metrohealth.org. Next, we'll single out the Medicaid maximum asset rules.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
For the latest highlights and updates on Cleveland sports, watch the Mentor and Helene Kia Sports Report with Jim Donovan. Mentor and Helene Kia, your Northeast Ohio Kia headquarters.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back with information about individual Medicaid coverage. Mom had been doing fine at home, but suddenly had a fall. Her stay in the hospital turned into a long-term stay in a nursing home. She had some assets, but she had paid into the Medicare and government benefit system through many years of working, so she would be eligible for some help, right? Unfortunately, her thoughts are probably very wrong. Here to explain is my All Right Law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Mike. So if you end up in a nursing home for good, I mean, Medicare should pay for that, right? You paid into the system.
Well, Medicare only pays for a short period of time. Medicare will pay for 100 days in a nursing home, along with your supplemental insurance. But after that, it ends. The idea behind Medicare is it pays for your needs to help get you better. And if you're not going to get better, then Medicare eventually is not going to cover you in 100 days. If you're not better by 100 days, they're assuming you're not going to get better.
Yeah, and that may be true, unfortunately. But she did pay into the taxes and the government benefit systems. So then that would mean she could get a benefit like Medicaid, which is one government program to help pay for the nursing home, with no problems.
Well, Medicaid, as you know, is a needs-based program, so you have to have the financial need for Medicaid. So most people don't qualify for that.
No, they don't qualify for that. So how do you qualify?
Well, you have to be in financial need. It means a single person can only have $1,500. They can have a car worth, less than $4,500. They can pay for the cemetery plot and prepay for the funeral expenses. That's all they can have. If that's what they have, then they can qualify for Medicaid. If they have more, they don't qualify.
Oh my, that isn't very much.
No, it's not a lot at all.
It's not enough to live on there. So if you have all these other assets beyond what they let you keep, does that mean you have to spend every dime of your life savings paying for nursing home care before Medicaid will then help you pay for it?
Well, that's basically what the nursing homes and Medicaid kind of want you to think, because if you pay out of your own pocket, you're going to pay at a private pay rate, which is higher than what the Medicaid rate is. So if you can qualify for Medicaid, you should try to do that if you can. Now, you need to plan in advance, because if you have all these assets, you may not qualify for Medicaid. So you should sit down with a qualified attorney, one who specializes in elder law and knows these issues, and sit down with them and plan in advance so you can qualify. And one thing I ought to mention is, even if your parent, mom or dad, are already in a long-term care facility, it doesn't mean it's too late. You can still do some planning and save some of the money. Of course, if you plan more in advance, you might be able to save.
The farther ahead, you probably have a better shot at saving more then. All right, this is very good information. Don't gamble with your assets. If you don't plan for possible nursing home costs, you could lose them all. For more information, call Mike. The information is coming up next.
Call Solomon, Steiner & Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll boast about the best ways to break back last a lifetime. Are you tight-lipped about your not-so-sweet smile? We'll help you begin to grin again. And if you're weighed down by your weight, we'll enlighten you about an amazing new program. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.